All right, guys, welcome back to another podcast. Today we got Noor Dabash and Bryce Mckenzie on. What is going on? There's a lot, but I want to start with the most important thing. That is the fact that you guys are going to be on Next Influencer, which, right? Like the show, the reality show, but it's going to Paramount.
Because on the show, like I've watched like the more like introductory episodes. Like, what's the actual goal? Like, what, like, is it like a contest that then at the end, like you are America's Next Top Influencer, or is that's like the whole purpose of it?
That's kind of like the point of it. Yeah, it's like a reality game show, right? So like each day we had challenges where we were competing against each other, right? And if you won the challenge or whatever, like let's say like the first challenge or whatever, the winner of that challenge got the master room in the house. Like,
okay.
We're in a big like mansion for like 2 weeks filming, and so like the first challenge determined who got the master room and stuff like that. So like you win challenges, and then like the way it works is like all the people in the house, all the housemates rank each other at the end of each day on like who they like the most.
Oh god,
it's just based on who you like.
So it's pretty much as toxic as of like
basically
environment.
It's literally like set up for drama and stuff like that.
How likable are you type of thing.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten first once, so I think that tells me a lot. But it was fun.
What wins like being first? Is just being like the nicest person, or it's just having no enemies? How do you win? I don't understand.
I mean, I guess
it
it's
just
just
cruel.
like
It is, yeah.
take them all and just like I honestly don't even know how they did the math, but they did it somehow.
Did you guys get paid to be on the show?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay,
yeah.
Oh, well, that makes it worth it because I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, would you? I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go on like I
It
wouldn't.
depends on the exposure. Like how much exposure do you guys
Yeah,
get? Once
true.
it airs,
I guess if you're
Honestly,
well, the fact that it was on Paramount Plus and we got a billboard in Times Square was like, I mean, just the fact that even if it was only airing on YouTube, we could have gotten like an IMDb for it.
right.
So that's like one of the things that I was looking forward to because I want to move into acting in the film industry. So I'm like, that's a good first step because then in, like future auditions and stuff, I'd be like, I was on this show, so you can have me on this one, you know?
Yeah, it was definitely a super cool opportunity that like opened up stuff because I mean, for me, like going into it, I just thought it was being streamed on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know it was going to be on Paramount Plus until like afterwards. They like told us after. And so that ended up.
But you know how like when the Hype House show got on Netflix, everyone's like, dude, you really pushed Stranger Things for this show, and they were really hating on it. A lot of the comedy people. How did you think like most people were reacting to Next Influencer on Paramount? Did they even notice it for the most part?
So I feel like the difference between like the Hype House and then like our show is the fact that the Hype House is like its own thing and ours came from like seasons and like a series. Like it was already a thing that people were looking forward to and they liked it from the first season. So like, I mean, the Hype House thing, like I watched like the first episode and I know some of those people in real life, so I don't really care to watch them. Like I didn't really like take the time to be like, damn, like I don't really want to get into your life. I'm like,
But your guys' show on YouTube, the first couple seasons, like without you guys, it got crazy numbers. And it kept on getting crazy numbers. So it makes sense why it's on Paramount. And I'm sure millions of more people have seen it.
Well, it was wild because it was like COVID, and I think Alex was over at our Alex Warren was over at our house for like the first season. I remember he's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm doing this show.
We don't know where it's gonna go."
But like, he didn't even like need to go in. He was just filming like Zoom calls, and that was like because he was like the like the celebrity host or whatever of it. So yeah, it's an interesting show though. It's a cool idea.
Yeah,
that's cool that like you guys actually got something from it opposed to like just getting fucking shit on by
people.
I mean, surprisingly, like I feel like I was really mean on the show to like a specific somebody that I didn't like. I still shit on her till this day because she deserves it. But
who?
Carrie.
What did Carrie do?
She's just like a weird, like very like, I don't know. She threatened to sue me. I don't know if I can say.
She threatened to sue you?
Yes.
Yeah. You might have
a reunion. I don't know. She's not a nice person, but I felt like I was super mean and I kept like threatening to beat her ass. And people were like, yeah, like I really wanted you to beat her ass. Like commenting on my stuff. Like, why didn't you smack the fuck out of Carrie? And I was like,
so they care. They're following that shit. They want to see you go through
like
it.
They were like, why didn't you beat the, like, I really wanted to see you beat the fuck out of her. And I was like,
were you playing it up or did you actually want to beat the fuck out of her?
No, I really did.
Oh, okay.
Like,
you weren't playing it up. It wasn't like this is, the cameras are rolling. You want to.
No, I didn't have a problem with a single person. I had a problem with two people on that show. One of them left on the third day.
What's the story there? Like, how did that go down?
Yeah, like how does like the drama actually unfold? Like, is there drama that's on camera that also carries to off camera?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. So like, okay, so I knew like obviously like Bryce and there was Christian and I knew Dawn as well. And me and Dawn had past beef because she was spreading like a weird ass like Dawn Morante. like Dawn the dish soap.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so she was-
yeah, Dawn.
Dawn.
Oh yeah. Producer Lou had a slight crush on that might get cut, but
Ooh, okay.
Well, it's just funny because whenever her name's brought up, I'm always just like, that
Wait,
one?
is it that same Dawn?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
Dawn
no,
Dish
that's
Soap.
her.
Yeah,
That Dawn?
There's really only one, but her name's gonna get cut.
nah.
I don't know. But she like spread some weird ass rumor about me, like
Really?
just because she got like super fucked up at a party, and she just like spread this weird ass like I could have gotten arrested type rumor, and I was like, God damn, like people really just don't like me in the city.
And they just said that just because she didn't like you. What
Well,
do you think her motive was?
I think it was just because she wanted other people to like her.
Yeah.
And then I really tried to like get her to like understand where I was coming from, and I like tried to like talk it out, and I was like, Dawn, like you could have ruined my life, like I don't appreciate the way you were slandering my name. And she was like, okay, I'm really really sorry, like, and all I wanted her to do was send a text to that girl that she was like lying to me about and be like, I'm sorry, like I got super fucked up, and like I didn't, none of that was true.
Yeah.
She did not do that. Like that was the one thing I wanted, and she refused to do that. And then she just started ghosting me basically.
Well, can you say what the rumor was?
I mean, did I say it on the show?
I don't know.
We can cut it out if you didn't say it later.
I don't know. Probably.
I'm just curious.
Well, I'm not gonna say like who it was about or whatever, but she basically like went to like someone's birthday party, and like there was a bunch of like more like popular girls there or whatever, like high school type shit, and she said that I sent her there to drug and roofie one of the girls there that didn't like me, and then said that I sent her to like put vodka in her contact solution, like burn her dress, like spit on her and trip her. And I was like, Dawn, like the whole reason that started was because I had that girl's dress that her friend let me borrow, and I was like, guys, like give this back to her, like I don't want like her to hold this against me, I don't want her to be pissed at me, like take this dress back and give it to her. And then like Dawn just started going like, why can't she come to this birthday party, like I can't believe she's not letting you come because she doesn't like you, and like blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh, like Dawn, it's fine. Like I think the one joke I made was like fucking, I don't even know, like trip her or some shit, just like a joke.
But it's Dawn's friend that you didn't want to come to the party.
No.
Sorry, I'm just
no. Her and Dawn were friends, and
the party she was going to was at that girl's house.
Okay.
And so she like blacklisted me.
Sorry about that.
And she didn't want her to
go.
Got that.
So then like Dawn was like, I'm gonna like spit on her, like vodka in her contacts, like I'm gonna roofie her. And I was like, calm the fuck down. Like she's in my living room saying this shit, and I'm like, Dawn, like shut the fuck, like that is not funny. And then she like left later, and I start getting like I'm high as shit in my living room eating McDonald's, watching like I don't even know what I was watching, and I'm sitting there and I start getting like spam calls of like all these girls who live in the house and like their friends and like people I haven't talked to in months, and they're like, fuck you, you fucking cunt, like you're fucking weirdo, like you're such a psycho bitch, like how dare you try and do that shit to my friend. And like I'm getting FaceTime calls of like these drunk girls calling me, like freaking the fuck out. And I was like, I don't know what's going on right now. Like, I'm freaking out. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I can't believe you did that. And I was like, tell me, like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. They're like, you sent her here to do this? And I was like, no. I was like, I don't.
So they were saying that you sent Dawn there to do that?
Yeah. Like, I sent Dawn as, like, a little, like,
the vodka and the contact lens is very creative and so fucked up. Like, the fact that someone came up with that, put vodka instead of your contact solution.
Wouldn't there be something better? Because wouldn't you be able to smell the vodka before you put your contacts in?
I
hey, maybe
know.
I'm putting contacts in my eye?
I just don't know who's up with that.
Yeah, but, like, what kind of fuck shit? Like, who even thinks of that shit? Like, goddamn. Like, I personally have never, like, if I really wanted to fuck with them, like, I could have just picked up the phone and be like, hey, there's underage drinking at this address, or like, there's a loud party at this house, and I could have gotten it shut down just to be an asshole. But like, why would I go to that extreme measures to like fuck with this girl that I haven't talked to in like a year, or like haven't like spoken to or like dealt with in like so long?
Haven't you noticed that right after you get really high or like take a rip or something, somebody
Something,
like clockwork every time, like. Why couldn't you have brought this massive problem to me 20 minutes ago?
I was like fumbling my phone, like.
No, it's like, literally like
trying to read my shit.
Like sometimes I'll just get like just ridiculously like as high as really anyone really needs to be.
Because you think your day's done.
Yeah, you're like I'm done, and then somebody will just come in with just some fucking.
Hey, you're gonna get evicted tomorrow unless you send me all these bank information.
Jesus
like,
Christ, bro.
Now
I don't even know what my fucking password is at this point, but
I don't even know. Yeah, it's just like I don't know. Just being able to like think about big picture issues is like when you're just stoned is so difficult.
It's horrible.
It's just funny because it's always right after you take a rip or something. But Let's joke.
So with all those rumors, like, where do you think these things start? Like, how does it? Because you've been involved in a lot of drama, and you're kind of an interesting place because you guys are together now after all of it. But I see that you deal with the comments, you respond to the comments sometimes. There's some of them are brutal, but they're also, you have a lot that are just as supportive. Like we were talking about it before. Your fans, a lot of them seem to be like simping over both of you in the relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's just like are people, your fans are just like, now you have fans that like the relationship.
Like a lot of like, I personally, I don't think I really had like a really stable like what do you call it,
fan base
like a fan base or whatever. And like once I started dating him, like I started getting all these like really good supporters and more like fan pages and edits and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, like this is kind of nice. So I started being like more interactive and shit too. But like there's also like the comments that are like, poor dude, like why is he with you, like fuck you. And I was like, I just have a feeling that people just don't like me. Like I genuinely, like, not to be like, oh, like poor me, pick me, like people don't like me. I genuinely do not think when I meet people for the first time, sometimes they just like have this like weird thing where they just hate me.
Yeah.
Like for absolutely no reason. Like I've lost friends for like reasons that they can't even explain. They're just like, I just don't want to be friends with you. And I'm like, cool, but we were like, we got matching tattoos like last week. So now you don't like me?
That sounds super specific.
Yeah.
You had her here.
We had her here?
Yeah.
How long ago?
I think it was like, okay, I saw her on here and I was like, damn, they're taking like.
Oh, it was.
Oh, did you say were you about to say we're taking anyone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who was it? Was it what was her name?
Oh my god! If we guess it right, that's even worse.
Was it
fucking?
No.
The only reason I know that is because
we bonded over trauma. Like the hate I'm getting right now because of the dude that I exposed. Like we bonded over that. And I was like, just like we were together like every single day, like all the time we were hanging out. I was like, you have to leave me my boyfriend. Like I was trying to set her up with his best friend so we could have this little cute thing going. And then like at one point, like we started getting tattoos together and smoking together and da-da-da-da. And she pulls up this one tattoo and I was like, no way, like I have that in my camera roll too. Like I want to get it. And she's like, I'm going to get it with like normal hearts and you can get it with broken hearts. And I'm like, down. And we were like chilling, having fun, like so slay. And then all of a sudden it was like removed as follower. She like removed me as a follower off everything. And then I think the last time I talked to her was like, she was like, can I have my bathing suit back? And I was like, okay. I was like, you care to explain why? And she just never did.
You
like
got no explanation?
No explanation. Like I have no clue what happened. No idea. But there was just this like, that's why I don't like the Ava, because there's this group of TikTokers that just have some unspoken hatred towards me that nobody can explain.
Well, Bryce, do you notice that too? Like, how do you see from your perspective as a kind of like coming into this?
Okay, with the thing, I called it from the start. I did. I told her because we went over there and we were smoking with her, and like the first time after smoking with her, I was like, nah, I don't like her. I just like you just don't there's something about her, like I don't know.
At that point, like I thought we were gonna be friends forever, so I was fighting with him. Like you have to like. Like, why don't you like my friends? Like, you really have to like her.
It's really funny to watch this from like a outside, because I mean, I didn't really know you guys at all before this either. So it's funny to watch how you guys have two completely different views on a person, or like, I don't know, like, do you understand what I'm saying?
You learn new things from different experiences that people have.
It was just funny to like see a relationship that you know like literally very little about, and just see your guys' different views on this. Yeah. I can just imagine this conversation. Like, I don't know, you
gotta like my friend. She's my best friend. She's part of what I bring. Yeah. But then now
we have matching tattoos, Bryce. Like she's a part of my life forever. And
if
then
you're with me, you're with her.
A week later, I like start calling like Bryce, and I'm like, did this and now we're not friends anymore. And he's like, what did I tell you? Like, what did I say? I told you so. And I was like, fuck, like you don't have to say you told me so.
Where like, do you have any, because
but you did
before
but you always have to. It's always necessary.
Before this interview, so I was talking to like multiple like just people, because I like to like talk to people who are in the space with the guests that we're having on to learn like what they know. And you guys are an interesting guest, because I really want to come to this podcast with an open, like completely what is it called? Like influenced opinion, right? Because literally everyone has very different things. Some people are like, oh, you shouldn't be talking to them. You shouldn't be doing this. Other people are like, oh no, they've been most misrepresented people, especially you, over the last couple of months. So I want to come with a open mind. So it's interesting that sticking through everything when you were like calling out the entire situation and like talking about it, but then now she's left. Do you think that has to do with other people talking?
Oh, 100%, 1,000%. Like I know for a fact, like I know like where it kind of strains from. It strains from like one person, and like because like we had a very mutual like friend group, we started like doing stuff, and obviously like I had different views on different people, and she had different views on different people, and then like all of a sudden it was like they're all going towards like her because she's like the more clouded one. She has like more followers, and like at one point too, I was trying to call out like my old managers for like just being horrible managers. Like they didn't do shit for me. And I would like call up like my friends who are part of the management too, and I'm like, yo, like, do you realize how they're doing this and that, and like not making us money, and they're like not like, you know, talking about like how we should like be making more, and not like talking about what's the word when they're
treating you like a cash cow.
Yes, basically. And like they wouldn't like focus on me more, and at one point like they were yelling at me, like do you know like Emma Brooks?
Yes,
I love her, but like at one point they were talking to me about how like you should be more like Emma Brooks. Like look at how Emma's like growing by the day. Like she's posting this and that, and she's getting this and that. And I was like, for one, you cannot compare us. She does a completely different thing than I do. Second, why are you like, as a person of color, like I feel kind of attacked having two white people compare me to another white person. Like I'm like very clearly like there's a lot of like, when I talk about this and he completely disagrees with me, but I feel like there's a lot of like unspoken racism on the internet with like people of color versus white people, because like it's just like it's a normal thing. Like I think they grow up with that mentality, and I will stick with that by the like till the day I die, because growing up I was always so mistreated for being a person of color. So I still think that, honestly. But
like what's the main thing you disagree about there?
I think the main thing I disagree about with is just like the majority, right? Like I like to try and give people like the benefit of the doubt, right? Like obviously if someone's being racist, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like
there's something blatant,
But yeah, it's just like when it gets to the point, if I feel like it's just like being completely just like blamed on that, and you're not like actually looking at like all the other stuff that goes into it and stuff, then I'll just disagree with it. But it's just like we just talk about it or whatever, and we usually come to a consensus.
Yeah. Well, because it's a hard thing. You can't just point it out. Yeah. But the one thing that kind of I agreed with you more before, but one thing that kind of changed is I saw some article. It's insane how you have people of color creating these dances, but then you have like a white creator like Addison will do the dance, get significantly more views, and then get all the brand deals, even though the original poster doesn't. And that happens over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's more like overall. Like, you know, subliminal racism that no one talks about, but exists.
Yeah, and I think it's just like, because of that, it's just like on like the entire platform. It's not just like the one thing or like the individual or whatever. It's just like
it seeps into everything.
It does,
Well, I don't like fully blame it. Like I'm not fully like I hate white people. Like I'm not saying that. It's just another thing where it's like as for say this specific situation that's happening right now where I'm getting literally called CNMA because of the same thing where it's like a person of color versus a white person, but there's two different things of the fact that there's literally a video of Sienna doing that versus some kid saying that I did with absolutely nothing to back it up the statement.
Do you think you could explain the kind of just like the situation like a little bit, just so that there's like there's like some context?
Okay, basically what happened was, when I moved here I was 17. In the Ava there's like another group of like people who were there, and I started like fucking hanging out with them a lot, and like yes, my bad, I'm sorry, like I was like a 17-year-old who first started getting drunk and stuff like in LA. Like I was taking the opportunity of like my freedom away from like my strict family back home in Canada, and so I just started doing like whatever the fuck I wanted to. And then came like boys, and I like growing up it was like don't talk to boys and don't do this, and I have like very strict Arab family, so I was like dope, like I get to go like hang out with dudes, like I get to go kiss guys, and like nobody's gonna say shit to me.
Freedom.
And so like and like I literally was doing whatever I wanted, and then at a specific point I started going on like these benders of just like drinking like every single night, like every single day. And there's that kid, like that Nick kid, and he's 21, I'm 17. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's just the fact that he kept like he kept saying at first, he was like, oh, I'm gonna wait until you're 18, like I'm gonna wait until you're 18. And I was like, okay, like whatever, fine. And then at like just literally a week later, like he was like, you want to have sex? And I was like, a drunk 17-year-old, and I was like, okay, like funny. And then like that shit happened, and then after that fucking I'm trying to like put timelines in my head.
Well, you said initially that like multiple times it was consensual first couple times, and then after a little bit it
just started getting like weird. It just started getting like I was super fucked up and he was sober. Like all the time. Like there were parts where I would like pregame for a party and then like go like to, because his apartment's only like 3 floors down and like the building right over. He was in building 4, I'm in building 5, and like we were right next to each other, so like I would just like text him, like walk right over, and then we'd hang out, and then like I don't even know, shit would happen. And then like one time, like I literally was talking to him about one of my friends, and he was like getting pissed at me, and then I had a panic attack, and then he took advantage of me, and then literally I ignored him for a couple days, like refused to go see him, refused to go do anything, like didn't want to be around his friends, told all of my friends too, like I told like some of his close friends too, and they like completely believed me because they're like, yeah, he's a weirdo. And then fucking I like told, like I texted him about it. I was like, you took advantage of me, you're fucking sick, I was a minor, like. And then a couple like months later, I started therapy, got a boyfriend. I was like, you know what? This thing's been holding on to me for a really long time. I hate the fact that I have to see his face on my fucking For You page. So I'm going to expose him. What's social media good for? Cancel culture. So I was like, great, I'm going to expose this kid. I did it. People were like, some people were pissed off because they were like, where's your proof? Like, where's your proof? I was like, dude, he literally gaslit me and said that he never intended to do that. So he did something, but he never, with like the wrong intentions. Yeah. You know? So he never intended to do something. And then people were like, okay, cool. Disappeared for a little bit. Kid comes back 3 months later with some shitty ass like fucking screenshots that he could have easily faked, which people were saying that I faked my stuff, but I didn't. And then they're like, oh, like, where's your proof? Like, where's this? And then they started calling me Sienna because he waited until the Sienna and Jack situation was at a peak and then took that and used it to his advantage, because he literally used the exact same story. Like, she waited and like she kept trying to like make advances with me, and I said no, which is exactly what Jack said. And then like, oh, like it came to a point where I was super blackout drunk and she was trying to sleep with me. Wow. And I was like, wait, this sounds just like Sienna and Jack's story. And like I genuinely just didn't and I didn't know what to do at first, so I like kind of made like a really shitty video with like the proof that I had, and then I made another video, like I had 3 videos up and like a proof of like my screen recording of stuff, and I was like, here's all the proof I can give you. Like, there's also a police report. I have a detective on my case. I can't, like, just take the shit to court and be like, here, charge this kid, because it's, like, a process, and COVID's ass right now, so it takes, like, 3 to 4 years. And then fucking nobody, like, people still to this day, either people are, like, smart enough, and, like, I feel like I like, my bad for putting it on TikTok, because I know that there's a lot of kids on there, and, like, they probably don't understand. But then again, like, how are you going to let this like 21, 22-year-old run around on an app where there are kids, where he can do this to other females, which he has, because there was another girl who came out with her story. Like, yeah. And I feel really bad for her too, because she was like, people were like threatening to dox her. Like, people were like telling her like they're going to go and like kill her family. And I'm like, holy shit, like what the fuck?
Yeah. But it's interesting because the point that you made a little bit ago is that he did this at the height of the Jack and Sienna situation to capitalize on that. But it was interesting because his point was that, like, his argument was originally that you were doing like the same thing, and so was the other girl, like releasing it at times when he was growing the most, and it was all about this game of like clout chasing, growing followers. But you're saying it's just the same on his part. Him saying that to you it doesn't actually mean anything.
Well, yeah, but then again, people were also kind of just saying that like, why are you like, you did it for clout, like you did it for attention. But like, babe, like I had more followers than him before he started blowing up. I wasn't even keeping up with him. I don't give a fuck about that. Like, I had like 5 million followers, which like on TikTok it's kind of hard to grow past a certain point. And I was like fucking livid. Like, I was so happy that I just had the followers that I had, and I was like using that to like, and like I love my supporters. Like, I talk to them, I DM them, I answer comments and shit. Like, I do whatever I can. And then people were like, you did it for clout. I'm like, I'm not a nobody. Like, I did this for other people's safety. If you don't want to believe me, that's your fault. But if you want to stand up for this kid who was literally like 21 while I was a minor. And then my favorite part too is when people are like, 17-year-olds aren't fucking stupid. Like, if you're 17, like, you should know. I'm like, do you know what grooming is versus grooming plus alcohol plus like scary older people?
Plus LA and the culture of all the, like, you're living in this insane fast life of LA, coming from, you talked about Alberta, Canada. Like, it's such a different place. And you come here and then you're underage, you're 17, you're trying to fit in while also like be different. It's the hardest thing to handle.
Dude, yeah. And I had like a bunch of my friends too who were like, do it, like go for it, like do it. Like, you should do it. Like expose them? No. Like, oh yeah, that too. But also where they're like, you should hook up with him. Like, you should do it. Like, why not? Like, look at the way he looks at you. Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, take a shot and go do it. Like, and like, that's like one of my biggest things. Like I don't drink at all anymore. Like it's like something that just genuinely kind of scares me now because I'm scared about like what'll happen. Even though like I know I'm safe. He's with me 24/7, but it's just the scary thing. But like social media is kind of ass. I'm not gonna stop posting or turn off my comments. I do sit there and I like block people for like 30 minutes every day. Like I'll just scroll through and I'll be like, you called me CNMA, you're getting blocked. Because then again, I'm not gonna like I don't want to like open my comments every day to see people like slandering my name. So yeah, I'm gonna fucking block you and delete comments because they're not true.
Do you feel like sometimes people use that as like, oh, you're hiding from it, right? But that's
well, that's the thing too. Like there's like if you search up my name on TikTok, there are hundreds of videos just continuously like shitting on my name, and I can't do anything about it. Like I can't send them all like fucking like take down this video, like threatening them. Like I can't do shit. You can say whatever you want, but you can say whatever you want until it comes onto my page because it's my page and I have control of that. So I'm gonna delete what I want, right? Yeah. Like you can say whatever you want, and like it's kind of like your house, your rules. Like my house, my rules. Yeah.
And then when you guys started like hanging out and you guys first met, where was this situation at? Like how did you come into it? And what was your first,
Well, when obviously we started hanging out, I think I met her last year in May, and I was part of a content house. I was part of the Vault.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I was part of
one of the greatest ever.
There's a lot.
There's
like a top 20 list of like content houses that like were just kind of content. You know what I mean? Because like there was like a few that was like,
I know exactly what you mean.
There was like 5 that were like, oh yeah, I've heard about that. And then like, I don't know, there was like this like weird time like when we were out here because like we all live together, but we aren't a content house. Like we all we just like work together.
And some of you like, yo, party at the Tropical House on Friday.
Dude, yeah, there was some funny names. Vault's actually there was some that like people came up with. I'm like, really? You guys sat down for however long and you came up with that? Like I don't even know some of the names.
Yeah. No, that's like
this house just hashtag house.
Yeah. Shout out Breezy Boys. That house. I think that name's hilarious.
The Breezy Boys.
The Breezy Boys.
Christian's so good in on our show. It was so slay.
It was funny. But yeah, we met back when I was at the Vault and she came over. And that was like when we initially met or whatever. And it was funny because I had actually like DM'd her before and everything. And then I
have the screenshot.
I chickened out, right? So I sent it. She saw it, screenshotted it. I unsent it.
I literally just wanted to send it to my friend, and I was like, "Don't you know this kid? Like, blah 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 blah." But at the same time, like when I was stalking him, like way back when he blew up, he had a girlfriend. So I was like, "Wait, does he like still have his girlfriend? Like, did they break up? Like, I can't just DM him and be like, do you still have a girlfriend? Like, that's just kind of weird." So I screenshotted it, sent it to my friend, and I was like, "What do I say? Like, what should I say?" And she's like, "Just reply." And I went back to go reply, like probably like a couple, like 2 days later or some shit, and they were gone. And I was like, fuck.
Damn. The classic unsend. It's because girls be screenshotting shit, bruh. Like you
get
can't
scared.
Yeah.
If you don't get a response, you don't know what the fuck
if you're going to say something and then it's just going to get sent in a fucking group chat, then like.
Dude, he was also really bold. He was like, I just want to say, like, you're the most gorgeous human being I've ever seen in my life. Like
aggressive slide in.
Yeah.
Very aggressive.
Oh, yeah. So
balls
aggressive.
to the wall on that one. Yeah, there's some slide ins are funny. It's funny to like see what, especially if that's what started a relationship. It's funny to go back.
It is kind of funny.
We had Sophie Dossie and Dom on, and Dom was like, yeah, no, I shot her DM, and she didn't reply to me for 2 years. He went to her meetup as a fan, like 4 years before, like while she was at like VidCon, and he was up there and took a photo with her, and then now is like dating her. But like was up there as a fan of Sophie Dossie.
Dude.
That's
a come up.
That is a
come up. It is, yeah.
Do you DM girls?
No, I don't.
You don't DM.
Dude,
You've
I had,
never
like,
sent a
95
DM. You've never sent like a.
I did when I was like younger, and they're all like horrible, but like now I don't.
Because I was trying to think. Because like I don't DM like that. Like some people get weird in the DMs. Like people will like fire off DMs.
They will.
And I'm like, wow, that's very
whatever. Good for them. Yeah. Good for them. But yeah, then after that, I ended up actually having to go back home to Colorado for a few months. I was stuck there having knee surgery, and that's when we were like gymnastics. Yeah, that's when we were kind of like starting to talk and everything like that. And then that's like the same time frame. Everything was going down or whatever.
Yeah, I've said this once, I'll say it again. I was so stupid when we were talking because I didn't know we were exclusive. And like for me, like never being in like a proper relationship, like I didn't know how that shit worked. So I was like, oh, cute, he's talking to me, but I'm still gonna go talk to other guys because he's in Colorado and I'm over here. Yeah. And I was just fucking around being a dumbass. And then I just like ended up noticing, and I was like, wow, it was really shitty for that. But Yeah, I mean, we're good now. You know?
Yeah, we're great now. But yeah, all that shit was happening. I didn't fucking know about it until like obviously like we talked about it like after we started dating and all that stuff. And like I learned about this entire situation, and then
when you came back.
Well, he learned about it like probably like 2 months after we started dating.
Yeah.
I honestly like I kind of, it's not that I forgot about it. It was more of like I talked to like my friends and I told them about it, and I even told like somebody I was living with at the time, like I'm like living with them, and I was like, hey, like this kid did this to me, like I don't want you hanging around him. Like, if you hang around him, that's automatically disrespectful to me. And I told her, and she's continued to hang out with him. And so I was like, okay, whatever. Like, you have no respect for me. I don't care. But I told like them, I told some of my friends, like a lot of them knew about it too. I had people reaching out to me like, hey, this guy's like a fucking weirdo. I used to like never want to be seen out with him. Like even when we were hanging out, just because I like gave me weird vibes. But then again, I was like, hey, attention, right? But after that, like I just kind of, I kept quiet for a little bit.
And you didn't say anything yet when he came back. You hadn't posted on Twitter or how the situation just has, like you were saying, there's so many things that happen, but now you can look at it as an entire story. Do you think it's done here? Or where is it going from here? Is it going legal? Is it? No one really knows on the internet, right? Like,
well, yeah, nobody knows on the internet. So what he said in his video, he's like, this is why me and my legal team are doing this, and that, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, cool. And I literally spent like 2 weeks sitting in my fucking apartment, like checking my mailbox, morning, evening, nighttime, like trying to see if I was gonna get served. I was like making sure. I was super stressed out, like waiting for emails, waiting for like letters, waiting for somebody to pop out of a black car and give me like, hey, you've been served. Or like waiting, like every time somebody ring my doorbell, like my heart would sink. And then I started like thinking about it, and I'm like, there's no way that this kid used to complain about how broke he was and how he like couldn't go shopping or he couldn't do anything. Like he didn't even want to drive his car because like he didn't want to spend his like only little bit of money on gas. And I was like, there's no way that he spent 3 months working with a lawyer who probably charges $300 to $400 an hour. At least like $200 to $400 an hour for 3 months to sue me for what? Defamation that I'm probably gonna win because I'm sorry that you lost your brand deals because you're a fucking rapist, but like. What like, and then it clicked in my head. I was like, he's bluffing. Like he's not gonna fucking sue me. I stopped worrying about it. I started posting again. I started just like, I was like, you know what? Like, what is he gonna do? Like, I have all the proof that I need. I have like the videos, the text. I have like screenshots of like whatever. I personally like, I lost a shit ton of fucking friends. Like because honestly, like I lost so many people who were like, oh, like I heard you like sexually assaulted someone, and I was like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're really gonna believe this kid who came back 3 months later and just said that I did that? Like at least I gave you guys something. And then like I kind of just like started like, I'm just like kind of over it. I'm like posting once every couple days, like I'm gonna do whatever I want, like
move forward
with my life. I'm not gonna stress about this. Like I'm still 18. Honestly, if people want to sit here and call me Sienna May, like they can. Like brands and like adults who can like put 2 and 2 in their head understand the situation that kid is lying.
How do brands react? Like what do brands say? Are they scared of working? No, they don't care.
No,
they understand.
Well, I still have I have long-term deals with some people, and like they're like because they're adults and they understand like the severity of the situation, the fact that I was a minor. They're like, okay, like it's fine. Like we're sticking by your side. Like we're not gonna like ditch you just because some kid said this. And like also like who's he to say like that I did anything to him with zero proof? Like for him just to be like, and my friends can say that like she tried to do this with me when I was blackout drunk, and I was like. What? And then the fact that he was also just like a lot of people in LA don't like her. And I was like, bitch, like I could say the same thing about you. I know a lot of people don't like me. Is that
that's
my
also
fault?
Just when you're defending a rape allegation, that's really not like the greatest. Like wait, like
it isn't really holding any water. You're
like
just saying,
there's more educated things to say. Like I don't know. That's just like not a great. That just doesn't hold any water.
I mean, but like
people don't like her.
Yeah, people don't like her. That's
like, she also like made a TikTok back in like 2020 saying that she was a compulsive liar, and I was like, wait, you're talking about the trend that like probably like thousands of other people did? Are they all compulsive liars too, or is it just the text that you throw up like on top of that?
Yeah.
Like I just like honestly a lot of things like a lot of this stuff like baffles me, and the fact that a lot of people hating on me right now are just like younger teenage girls. Like the majority are younger teenage girls, and it's like kind of like scary. It's really sad.
Does that upset you the most? That
people
that you wanted to influence.
And like it's a lot of people in the LGBTQ community too, where I'm like, what the I'm like, this goes against everything you stand for. Like this kid is literally like slandering my name, trying to talk shit about me, like trying to say that I literally sexually assaulted him, like using somebody else's story as his own. Like anybody could like look at him and like if they like know the littlest amount of like psychology, they'd understand that he's like manipulating the fuck out of people. And like I would like the first thing I said when I saw that video, I was like, this is bullshit. Like I was like, what the fuck is this? Like I could have come up with something better in like 20 seconds if that shit happened to me. But like I still took the time. Like I took a couple days to, like I have like a 45-page like document of just like a shit ton of proof and like notes and like people's statements, text calls, phone numbers, like people's like full like thing for a lawyer if I need it, which like 100% guarantees I will win any case that he tries to take me to. But then again, I'm not trying to spend like thousands, like tens of thousands of dollars trying to like sue this kid for defamation when I know for a fact that he's never gonna get a job in his life. Like, I don't care. He's done for it. Like
that I think because you haven't spoken really out on it in terms of another channel, right? Because you really explain the entire situation really, really well just now, and that helped clarify a lot of what was going on because it's all over the place online.
The last video that I made was like, so I made like the first 2-part, which like had all the proof, and then the next video I posted was the text messages, like the screen recording, and then after that I made another video and I was like, let me help you guys understand my side, and I put it out for people like step by step, like A, B, C, D. And I think just a lot of people just didn't watch my videos. They're like, you didn't say anything. Like, you're avoiding the situation. And I was like, I was like, there's videos. Go watch them. They're like, we don't want to watch them.
Also, like our input, like we've seen this before. Like not just like I mean, this is like obviously has like a different scope because you know of the severity of it. But just in like drama, like when drama happens, and then people that either were victims of the drama or you know just involved in it, take it to TikTok or take it to Instagram. And then they come on the podcast like later, like say it's like a month later, 2 months later, or they're talking about something in the past. Almost every time you like realize like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have taken it to TikTok, or maybe I shouldn't have done this. And like it just seems so true because it seems like every time we get taken to TikTok or every time, because like you just explained the situation I think better than what somebody would have gotten from your TikTok videos. You know what I mean? Like just like you just get like the full thing and like you get to hear like a conversation through it opposed to like just hearing one thing or like it just happened. I don't know.
You learn from the comments. Yeah,
it is. It's like it's also like kind of just like really hard to like. I don't want to sit there and like flood my page with like 15 videos of me just explaining the situation step by step. I put in what I thought was like relevant. People didn't like that. Like when I posted my initial video of me exposing him, I crossed out some of the text because I'm like, I want you to focus on where he's gaslighting me and where he said he never intended to do that and he didn't mean it. But then people were like, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? And then in my screen recording where I showed like our text messages because people were like, those are edited, they're fake. And I was like, no, they're not. And I scrolled and I played a voice memo where he was like, you left your Gatorade bottle at my place. Like, you want me to return it? And all the comments on that are like, what are you proving? That he's nice? That he wanted to give you back your Gatorade bottle? And I was like, are you guys fucking idiots? Like, nobody's like, people
there's
are just
always
like,
kids that are they're
well,
younger
it's just like
and
one ear out the other. Like I totally get that if they're younger kids, but then it's just so funny too because when I press on people's stuff and it's like 06 or like 08 in their bio, and I'm like, do you even understand what I'm like? Do you know what I'm talking about? Or like people are like, have fun in jail. You're a rapist. Like people are also like commenting on my shit like, how dare you do that to Jack Wright? And I was like,
oh, they legit.
They literally think I'm Sienna, or they think that just like they're mixing up stories and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but all of you are incorrect. So.
Damn, Bryce, how do you feel like what do you like have what's your position, like how do you like take care of like be like supportive, you know what I'm saying? It's a tricky situation. Do you have fans ever come up to you guys in the street and talk to you about the drama and then you have to kind of be just supportive the entire time? Like what have you had to do?
Well, not like in the street or like in person or anything like that. No one's ever talked to us about the situation, but I get hella comments on like my Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, you know, whatever, about the entire situation. And I'm just like honest with them. I'm just like upfront, like, look, like, why are you coming on my page commenting this stuff? Like, if you want to actually have a conversation about this, we can have a conversation about this. But like, don't be coming on here like slandering my girlfriend's name and shit like that. That's just, it's BS, you know? And so I'll comment back. I'll just like go through, delete my comments, do whatever. But it's just like, more than anything, just like trying to be there for her, like when she's going through shit, because it's like definitely like way different for her, like being in the actual scenario and like the whole thing's on her page. Like I really don't mind getting like bad comments or anything like that. Like at that point I'm kind of just like, okay, cool, like I don't really care at all, you know? But just like standing up for her as much as I can. And like I remember when it initially happened, I was so pissed off. Oh my goodness. I was like starting to post videos and stuff like that too about the situation, like what the fuck is wrong with you guys? How are you guys so stupid? Like, literally just like listen for once, you know, like just like stuff like that.
Like, I also feel like it just depends on like who's posting about it. Because whenever he posts about it, people are like, is he sober? Like, does he know what you did? Like, poor dude, like, poor guy. Like, why is he still with her? And I'm like, guys, like, if I was a shitty person, like, don't you think he would have broken up with me already? Like, if I was really, like, mistreating someone or, like, doing whatever, and people are like, oh, like, toxic relationships, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like...
True, but sometimes that's not necessarily true because sometimes people, like, do have really shitty relationships.
That's true.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
I mean, like, sometimes
like
people, like,
case,
just... like, similarly to, like... or not even similar, but just... I don't know. I know lots of scenarios like where people...
We could say, like, the Jack Wright and Sienna for a long time. Everyone loved what they were doing.
It's hard to know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people just... I think kind of like the moral of the... Not the moral of the story, but, like, people just take... I think people just take sides too quickly. Like, on... Like, they just, like... I think that people just need to, like... kind of just like listen. I think people just need to like listen more and like before they like really make an opinion
just
about
like,
something or like
this
is how it is.
Yeah.
Like really just know what's happening.
Look at the facts. But also there was like, so my older sister posted a video and was like, you owe my sister an apology. And all the comments were like, dude, the second I saw his video, like I knew he was lying. Like all the comments were just completely supporting me. And like, there's also a lot of people who are like, I'm just so confused. Like, I don't know what's happening. And I'm like, if you're confused, go watch the fucking videos.
Yeah.
And then also fucking fuck you, TikTok insiders, if you ever see this, because fuck your bitch ass. Fucking, she went and she took like,
She's like 13, right?
I don't fucking care. She's like,
I think
then
she's like
again, even fuck you even more, go back to school. But she like took like
Post me more on TikTok.
I had to
wanna
like
be in drama.
I had to like send her my like initial video that I made, and I was like, please post this, like I have to get this out. Like obviously that was when TikTok Room was around, I think, and I like didn't want to DM them, but I was like TikTok insider because I knew them, like I knew that girl, and she was like wishing me a happy birthday, like she was really sweet, and I was like, okay, like can you please post this? She did. And then like the comments and everything, like everybody was like shitting on Nick, which is yes what I wanted because he's a shitty person. But then again, after that, when Nick came out with his video, she took his videos like ASAP and posted them. And then I was like, I DM'd her and I'm like, yo, like I just posted on my story and I made a couple videos. Like, can you please share my part? Nothing. Did not answer me. Did not share my part. Like a lot of people, what they did was take his part and just share his and just left me at like left my side out. Mm-hmm. And like there's also like a T channel, like some Anna Oop bullshit.
Yeah.
She posted about it too. And my videos were out at the time and she just completely like her whole like YouTube title is just defamation of itself. Like
they're gatekeepers. And I know that because we kind of are in a position sometimes where we can kind of do that. Mm-hmm. And it's not always malicious. It comes down to like, what are we? So I know what the mentality they're coming in. They're gatekeeping content, determining what people see. And it's because it needs to be packaged in a way that's like saying the truth, but also viral. And it's really fucked up to how that's the case. But that is what it is.
It's like a weird, it's hard to explain, but like when Kai will like see, if like, or anyone like sees a story, so-called story, it's fucked up because like sometimes like the story is like actually fucked up. Like, you know, like what happened or, you know, and we're like, okay.
But it's packaged in a viral way that it can be shown.
Yeah, they can be shown. And sometimes you'll talk about it and you're like, no, we can't do a story on this. So like it's weird because it's not actually our problem or like our situation. So then we have to then look at it from like okay, how can we make a video on this? So in like her, you know, I'm not saying that she wasn't trying to do that, but like sometimes like you like get a video and then you're like, okay, this is what I'm putting out.
It's shitty.
Yeah, it's shitty.
Well,
it's just like shitty how it all happened.
I like watched the video and I sat there and I was like, what the fuck did she just say? Like the way she was like, Nicholas Ray exposes Noor Dabash for lying about rape, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? And then like people were saying that like I'm the one that did the sexual assaulting. Like there was some like 13-year-old like kid who made Fortnite videos when I first made mine in like November, who like came out with a video and he was like, guys, I know the truth. And he literally was like playing Fortnite and was talking over the video, and he was like, Noor Dabash drugged Nicholas Ray in 2020 and raped him, and now she's trying to get back at him before he exposes her. And that's all he said. Some like 12-year-old kid. Yeah, and some like little ass like child who has, I was like, who are you? Like, I don't even know who you are. I've never seen you in my life. And then I like called him out. I was like, literally, who the fuck are you? I was like, you're a kid, for one. Don't speak on my fucking situation. Don't invalidate my feelings. Second of all, where are you getting this info? Because I didn't even visit LA until June of 2021.
Yeah.
And I was literally laughing my ass off. Like, what the fuck is this kid talking about? And people were like, asking me for proof and like telling me my shit's fake, but then when they would look at Nick's stuff or like looking at that kid's stuff, they're like, we don't need proof, like we don't want it. Like his shit was like a screenshot of what do you call it, of him at the gym on July 6th at like 1 a.m. and then like screenshots from like group chats and a picture of my private story. And I was like, well, how come his stuff isn't faked? Like, why is his stuff real, but mine's fake? But he can use some very like circumstantial, like barely circumstantial evidence for this, and then it's okay. Like, it's fine. Like, people are gonna believe it like ASAP. But that's where I play into the part where I'm like, people will just like jump to believe the white person so quick because that's just how I feel. But like,
I think it just has to do with I mean I don't know, but it seems like it more has to do with guys and girls. I could be wrong, but I think it more has to do with how guys and girls react to that.
I mean, true, but I have like a huge female following, and like it's just the fact that like even some of the girls like on my following just don't want to believe me. I've literally had people DM me and like comment on my videos like, honestly, like I would never believe like a person of color over a white guy. Like it's the fact that like I had somebody DM me a whole thing where it's like
that's just racist. That's about as clear cut.
Yeah, like just fully like I would like never believe like oh my god, another like person of color trying to blame a white guy, like da 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 da, like guys can get sexually assaulted too. And I was like, I didn't say that. Like I didn't say guys can't get sexually assaulted. But then again, this is a completely situation, like a completely different situation. Like I got fucking assaulted. I'm the victim. I was a minor. And y'all want to believe this like 21-year-old fucking weirdo.
I think a percentage of people feel that way about I think a percentage of people are just like very suppressed white people who are just like, yeah, fuck you. Like that's the problem. But most of it are like, I think a huge part that most people didn't really think about is that everything came out during the peak of the Sienna Jack alongside of it, that people want to make that correlation and people want to make that happen, and it was natural for that to happen. I think that was a huge part of it too. Because when I was listening to Anna Oop and like when I was researching before this podcast, like, they're all doing this alongside why is this similar to Sienna May? So it's
but that's why that's also another reason that I'm just super pissed off about it, because I'm friends with Jack. Like we've had conversations about it. Like we've bonded over the fact that we were both taking advantage. Like we've had full conversations where he's like, honestly, like I'm here for you whenever you need, and I was like, I'm here for you whenever you need. Like we would talk about it, and we just like we're friends. And like people are just so fucking stupid. Like I like would love to just like get into someone's mind, just know how they think. Like I like do not understand. But that's why I'm like so like out of like touch from everybody. Like now I like stay away from as many people as I can unless they're my close friends, because I hate everybody in the city. I fucking despise every TikToker ever created. Like I don't like doing collabs. I don't like meeting people. Like I just don't want to, because I've had so many bad experiences in like the 7 months I've lived here. So I'm like, I don't want to. Like I don't. And people like ask me why I don't want to. Like, this is why like nobody ever sees you out. Like, why are you never invited to these people's stuff? I'm like, because I don't want to go. Because these people are fucking assholes, and you guys don't know that because you idolize them, but majority of them like are fucking like assholes all the time.
There's a lot of that. There's definitely a lot of that.
A lot of it, yeah.
They'll just like let it get to their head or some shit.
Yeah. I definitely think people just take sides way too fast. Like,
and also like the people that are commenting too. Like
if you're commenting.
Because the thing is, not everyone's commenting, obviously. You know what I mean? Not everyone's liking videos, all this stuff. So, like, the people that have opinions are the people that are commenting. Yeah. Whereas, like, with me, like, if I see a video, most of the time I'm just like, scroll past. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
most people.
Yeah.
So, it's like...
No.
Because the thing is, like, a bunch of people that are, like, that think right about... Not think right, but... I mean, for what you said, explaining it, I see the story. I see how that makes sense. Some people just don't.
Emotional comments, right?
Yeah.
That emotion.
Most definitely.
Which is like, I get that. It's just like, it's so stupid. I like don't understand. But like every time I pass by a video where it's a little bit like controversial, or there's like something really, really happening, unless it's something where it's like, I don't even know, like fucking if somebody was like, oh, this person like sexually assaulted me, I'll be like, I'm so sorry, babe. Like, I hope you get better. Like, I'm here for you if you need it. But I will never like go to somebody else's page and start throwing out fucking like, fuck you, go die, go kill yourself, like go jump off a fucking building. Like I've had people like DM me and be like, honestly, like when you're walking the streets of LA, I hope you get raped so you know how it feels. And I was like, holy shit, like goddamn. I'm like, that's kind of traumatizing. But
people
like,
also like people also have like a weird view of like the hard line and the fine line, because like there's times obviously like where I don't know, like there's people that hook up and then like they stop hooking up and there was never any like sexual assault or anything that happened, but like I don't know, like there's like weird there's hard lines where it's like, okay, that's just not ever okay. But then there's like lines where like sometimes people will like, or even if like girls are drunk, they'll be like wanting to hook up, and then like once you say no, it's done. You know, it's like it's, you know, that's where the hard line is.
Yeah.
But the thing is like people mix the hard line and the soft line,
And they also
then-
idolize.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you had people who were like, frankly, like you can, like you had. I'm sure you had people who loved you, who were your fans, who were commenting just as possibly deranged and fucked up shit on his page throughout the entire thing because they think you are. They would love you. They want to support you the entire time, and people feel like that way with him. That no matter what, you don't get anything that reasonable out of their comments. It's just always going to be out of emotion to protect the person that they follow. So,
True, yeah.
It still seems that the best way for it to be handled is just off of social media.
I mean, it was also just like the fact, like, I wish people just noticed how, like, people, like, he literally in his video was like, we kissed once, and that's literally all that happened. And I literally, in my video, showed multiple videos of him on top of me, like, him, like, making advances, like, he was the one doing shit. And, like, people just still were like, yeah, no, he's telling the truth.
Also, if you've had sex, you haven't just kissed one. Like, I mean, that's two very different.
No, yeah. And then I
that's
was
just
like,
I mean,
babe,
if
I
they're
was
just
a
different
minor.
things. They
like,
aren't the
I was
same
a
thing.
kid. I was 17. Is that not enough for you to, like, understand that this guy is a fucking weirdo where he did it to another 17-year-old?
Yeah.
Like, and left bruises on her body, like, literal bruises. Like, and then he just started, like, fucking playing, like, weird-ass, like, you know, but if this and this, and, like, going back and forth and just confusing people to the point where they're like, oh, yeah, he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
It was just really weird, and I was like, well, can't do anything about it now.
Hella fucked. Fuck him, bro.
You're the best because you're like so chill, and I feel like you're the perfect like support the entire time because you don't get like overly crazy about anything. You're just like very chill the entire time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like the. I mean, obviously this is different, but sometimes like there'll be like girlfriend drama or whatever, like something that's not substantial, and it's just like, oh yeah, you know, like you like talk, you like listen. Good. If you're a good listener, it helps a lot.
True.
But with this, it's obviously a lot bigger. But
I'm like hot-headed. I get like really like I get super pissed off super quickly, and then I just like cool, like I'm fine like 10 minutes later. And then like for him, like I'll be super pissed off and I'll start like doing something and I'll start saying something, and then like 10 minutes later he'll be like, hey, like if you look at it like this and that, and I'm like, huh, you're right.
I'm kind of
That's so
both.
true.
I get hella worked up, and then I'm like, and then I'm also
Yeah.
chill about something. I like
we
to-
might need you more around the house just to
Yeah.
I know.
any
Luke, dude. Luke's
Yeah,
Luke's
Luke's the big chiller.
Luke's
He's a
about
chiller.
yeah, Luke's about as calm as it gets.
okay, so I want to how many minutes have we done? I feel like, wow, yeah, we've gone for a minute. Okay, so let's bring it to something a little bit more lighter. Yeah, uplifting.
Lighthearted.
What do you
yeah,
guys
thank you for
think-
explaining that. By
Yes.
the way, I know
You did
it's
really
hard
well.
to it's hard to it's hard to ask in a way. We don't.
I was literally telling him, I was like, if they ask me about this fucking situation, like I'm not saying a word. But then I was like thinking about it. I was like thinking about it. And I was like, you know what? This is like a good opportunity to just like have
It's a
like
really good
different.
time to talk about it.
Because I think a lot of other people like just need other people's perspectives rather than like a biased opinion. Like we've never met before. Like I've like barely like. This is our first time basically meeting and talking, and I was like, if people just see it from like a different perspective and just have other people listening, like I feel like they're more compliant to like listen and understand.
So like
a little
us
bit.
before, we're like, so we just like didn't know. We were like talking. We're like, okay, like do we talk like because you just don't know, and we just didn't want to.
Yeah.
But like also like you guys doing your research and obviously like just watching videos and stuff. Like I don't know what your guys' like standpoint was on it,
but and I think the best part is like when you look at our comment section on podcasts. Like when we first had Alex Warren on, like this is a different situation, but he was getting constantly shit on for being like the David Dobrik copycat. But then he comes on our podcast, and what you see are these comments like, "Wow, I just got a new perspective on who he is."
dude, I love Alex Warren.
Oh, he's so yeah.
I would like
nicest
I
kid ever.
like. I think one of my like one thing about LA, like one of my things was like I've always wanted to meet him and Cover. Like I think they're like probably like some of my favorite influencers like ever. Like
yeah, they're
I
great.
love them.
Some of the nicest and genuine. Like he gave us the first interview when we came down, and that was like our shot, and that was the only reason why things started like going downhill.
That's cool.
And really
Dude,
worked.
That was
he's a
huge.
nice
He was
guy.
huge. Nicest guy ever. So yeah, all right, guys, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. All your links will be linked down below. Is there anything big that's coming up that you guys want to talk about, promote?
Anything big coming up? Nah, we always got stuff in the works, you know?
Yeah.
We always got stuff coming up. I don't know if it's like one big project, but
Is
Yeah.
everything in general?
just
Yeah.
in general. Yeah.
Sick.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thanks for having
All
us.
links are linked down below. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Subscribe, comment down below. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.